पाकिस्तानी अमेरिकन क्रिएटिव शो में आज आपकी मुलाकात होगी एक ऐसे अदाकार से जिसने स्कूल और कॉलेज के थिएटर से लेके नेटफ्लिक्स और हुलू तक का सफ़र बहुत जल्दी तय कर लिया। तो आइए सुनते हैं शाहरोज़ खान की कहानी, शाहरोज़ खान की ज़बानी। Thank you, Shahroze. I know the weather is crazy outside tonight.
No, thank you so much for having me. It's a great opportunity.
Thank you. So, Shahroze, I couldn't help it but go on your Facebook page, and as normal, I looked at your profile and I saw that you claim to know multiple languages, English, Urdu, and Punjabi. Is that?
Punjabi, I mean, I can understand a little here and there, but I can't speak it. But Hindi, Urdu, तो वो सब तो आती है.
Right. तो उसमें fluent हो.
जी.
Good. तो तुमने अभी तक कोई ऐसी प्रोडक्शन में काम किया है जिसके अंदर तुम्हें उर्दू बोलनी पड़े?
Not anything like a big production, but किए में like skits and videos जिसमें उर्दू बोली हुई है and like desi themed videos. तो करी हुई है, but nothing on a bigger scale yet. मगर I'm just waiting when the opportunity comes. मैं तैयार हूँ उसके लिए.
No, that's a very good thing. You're not letting that be a hurdle for you, and you're open to learning, the language and the delivery of it for acting and whatnot. Absolutely. So far, I think you have done a mix of short films, feature-length films, and so tell us about your journey so far.
So I guess how I got started in acting in the beginning, I used to make little short films with my friends for this competition that we did in high school. It was just for fun, kuch serious nahi tha. So it was just a very fun experience. So after high school, after graduating, I didn't know what I really wanted to major in going forward. I didn't know, मुझे नहीं पता था कि मुझे enjoyment किससे मिलती है, like what are my passions, like what things do I like to do that are actually fun to me. So I was, and even in college, I didn't know I never had a set route, like I'm going to be a doctor, I'm going to be an engineer, like this is exactly what I want to do. मुझे like पता नहीं था. So I was sitting down in the summer after graduating high school and just trying to list out things that I enjoy and that could have some sort of benefit and I could use it in the future. So I was writing things like basketball, video games, but obviously these things I can't really do anything with logically or realistically, I mean. So I thought about the experiences that me and my friends had in filmmaking while we were making those like little short
like
films.
Like the vines and videos, yeah.
Yeah. And so I was thinking back and I remember that this was actually, I had a really fun time doing it every year. It was in the whole process because we used to do the whole thing like make scripts, use cameras to direct and edit and all that. So the whole process was very fun to me and very interesting. So I thought about that and I figured, okay, like why don't I just try this and see what happens. So मैंने किया, I was listening to like teachers and coaches on how to, first I wanted to find out how to even start in this because I had no idea. I don't have any actor like connections at this point or anyone who's like knows about this type of stuff.
Not in your family, right?
No, nothing related to acting or filmmaking. So this was very like random, like left field thing. So it was but that's what made it interesting to me because it was something completely different. So I was just trying to figure out that like how do I start? So I found a film that was shooting in here at the same time in about, I think it was 2015 or in the summer of 2015. and it had some surprisingly big name people at the time. There were some like Disney stars, some Twilight
Wow.
actors.
Wow.
So, but in that, I just we signed up. I got a couple of my friends to go with me too, just to have fun. So we applied for some of the like background extra roles to be students. It was like a school scene.
Right.
So we got that, and then it was a 2-day shoot that we were scheduled for. So on the first day, we are getting we're getting sent to the set, and we're just supposed to be just in the background, just like the students, just doing whatever. But then for some reason, the director comes and pulls me out of all like the 50 kids or however many were there, and she says, "Oh, I'm gonna give you a featured scene, basically." So I was put right behind the main two actors that were in that scene, and basically it ended up in me getting screen time because of that. And the next day we came back, and it was supposed to be the same thing. We were just in a cafeteria. We were just supposed to be having like lunch like regular students, and the director comes up again and does the same thing and puts me behind the table of the main actors. So both days that happened to me, and after it was over, I was thinking, I was like wow, like this is my first experience doing something like this, and I'm getting basically like upgraded or like bumped up. So I took it as a sign, basically, like if this happened in my first ever experience, you know, like why not just give it an actual shot and just see what happens. So that's from then I officially decided to just go for it from there, and just keep growing and keep getting better, and that's where I'm at now. I'm just continuing to improve and just get as much quality work, and just develop myself as much as possible.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I think you have done a good number of films and commercials also, right? So in this early stage of your career, which attracts you the most, or which one, or you haven't decided yet? You're just enjoying both commercials and acting on for feature films or different.
Personally, I do like films more because I like the process of it. I, I have this thing, I was talking about it with one of my friends before, that I really enjoy learning and knowing about other people's lives, and just I'm interested in knowing like what their story is, like what, like if someone is at Walmart or something, I'm seeing them, I just see them and think like why are you here right now? Like what was the backstory? Like I'm like analyzing things like that. So um, that played a part into my interest into acting, because you get to be different people, different personalities. You get to become new people,
Right,
basically.
right.
Uh, so that's one of the main things that I really enjoy about film. So that I would say definitely film is my main interest and goal. But obviously in acting and the film world, you have to be well-rounded and do a
Right,
little bit of everything.
right.
And especially in Texas, the industry here is more commercial based. There's not as much film compared to like California, Atlanta,
Right, right,
Phoenix.
right.
So over here it's more commercials, which is fine. It's still fun and enjoyable, and I do like doing it. But it's just the industry isn't developed as much yet. But in the future, going forward, that's the goal, to have a bigger industry here, so you don't have to go elsewhere for those same opportunities.
So I mean, commercials are money maker, right? But at the same time, if you look at the last 20 years, commercials have also made people famous, right? Whether it was Subway commercial or some other like Geico or whatever, right? So have you thought about, or maybe that's something that could take your career from where you are to a very elevated level?
Yeah, definitely. That's a great point that you bring up, because there are commercials that if you get a big enough commercial, that can change your life too.
Mm.
There's many examples of that with like AT&T commercials, Subway, like you said, the Sonic guys that were
Right,
like,
right.
so it definitely is a huge market for that. But with that, those are less, because with commercials, how it's normally developed is you have multiple different roles, and it's like more like montage style, and individual highlights are not as common. So it's a little more difficult in that sense, but that's definitely a great avenue to go to, and definitely it's something that we all honestly like want to achieve. So that's definitely a good point.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, um, tell us more about your family. How was their reaction? And since you said that nobody from your family has ever ventured into acting or arts, so you being the first one, was it a lot of challenge, a lot of convincing going around, or how did that unfold?
Yeah, so with me, obviously, well, not even with me, with like Desi culture and like in general, you can't really just, because you can't really just drop everything and go chase like a artistic dream. I mean, you can, but it's really tough to balance everything. Like, but I know in like American culture and a lot of success stories, that's how it is. Like everything was, they just dropped and went for that, which is very respectable and amazing feat to achieve. But with me, I took a more, I guess, balanced approach. For me, it was as long as I'm still doing my schooling in college,
Mm,
getting my
mm.
degree, then it's fine to like do this alongside it.
Right, right.
So that's basically what I did. I was continuing my education, getting my degree in business and everything, and then but I always was giving this. Unintentionally, but also intentionally, I was giving it more priority. So even when I was in school, I would be like skipping classes if I had a shoot going on, or going to auditions, not like turning in assignments or
Right,
not finishing
right.
the homework in time. So in the my foundation in my mind was always like this is the major priority first, even over school. So that was always my driving factor. So I would do whatever I had to make it to these opportunities, and whether that be like commercial shoots or auditions going on or whatever. So I would just every obstacle or like whatever came up in my way, I had to just maneuver my way around it.
Wonderful. So, tell us about what you're working right now.
So I'm well, my day job, I work in biotech, so I'm a supply logistics manager there. But aside from that is my film work and everything. Right now I have a commercial that's should be releasing soon sometime for Toyota.
Ah,
So that was actually in Dallas. So we traveled there for that. So that was really fun. That should be coming out hopefully soon. I have a actually just recently, it's like a few days ago actually, I found out that I was cast in a feature film that's going to be filming in Houston.
congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. It's a psychological thriller type crime
Wow.
film. So I'm going to be playing a forensic scientist in that. So that's I'm excited for that to start and everything. Because I'm very interested in like sci-fi, action, adventure, all that mystery, suspense type of stuff. So that's going to be really fun. Um, I just finished up a series on that's going to be on Amazon Prime. It's called The Red Box.
The red box.
Yeah, so the first three episodes of that series are already on Amazon, but this is the fourth one that's upcoming and the final one as of now of that series. So that's really it's really cool. It's a very like interesting like adventure type of story. So that was very fun to do, and then I'm just auditioning, finding as many opportunities as I can, and just sticking to it because that's all you have to do, honestly, in this industry. You just have to keep
Keep
auditioning, keep
auditioning.
pushing
Right,
forward because
right.
like 95% of the time, you're not gonna get anything, or you're gonna hear no and rejection. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's
You gotta
something.
build up that uh, tenacity. to take a
Exactly.
no
Yeah,
and keep
exactly.
getting no's.
Yeah, because that's something you have to learn very early on in this industry is because you hear no majority of the time. So you have to develop, if it's not already there, you have to develop basically the mindset where
Mm.
you can't let it affect you, or else you're not gonna be able to continue in this.
Right.
So
Right.
that's very an important thing, I'd say.
Absolutely, absolutely. So tell us about any of your um, any of your work. What would you say was the most challenging role for you that required you to kind of do rehearsals after rehearsals, or staying up all night trying to get that thing pinned down?
Yeah. um, so I So I actually did a short film. It was a sci-fi short film where it actually just was screened in a film festival in New York, which I was there a few weeks ago for. That was very exciting and fun. It was a sci-fi film called Above the Ground, and I play a detective in it where my wife goes missing, and I'm trying to basically do whatever I can to find her and to search for her. And along the road, you find out what's really going on and like the mystery of it. But that was really fun, but it was challenging because it was obviously independent short film with the skeleton crew. So
Right, right.
and that's how a lot of films and productions here are. You just work with what you have and make the best of it. So, but with that, because of how the story is, we were having to film in a lot of like small, like shady areas, maybe uh, like under highways and
Mm.
random fields, random back roads, to get that like creepy vibe. And we just had a lot of the challenge in that was there were a lot of it took a while to finish because there were a lot of like reshoots with the because of various reasons,
Right,
technical
right, right.
difficulties, memory cards getting deleted, or just like all the you know how it
Oh
is, the
yeah, yeah.
general stuff.
All the ninja style filming,
Yeah.
right?
And if if we were scheduled to be at a certain location, we were depending on like that direct, like we were supposed to be under a bridge once, and we had our lights obviously, but we were depending on the main light that's under the
Under
bridge.
the bridge, right,
And
right, right.
that night we went, it was like 10 p.m. And the light was off for some reason, so we couldn't do anything. So just little things like that, which just extended the filming and the completion of it. And at one point, we were filming in a secluded area like that, and I was using a prop gun because I'm like searching using the weapon, and uh, it was no one was there, no people were there, but I guess somehow someone saw, or maybe a car that was going by reported it or something.
Oh
So
my
while we
god.
were filming in the scene, we're like all the way in the back somewhere, and like 4 or 5 cop cars pull up, and I was using the prop gun. So when I saw them pull up, we were a little further back. So I just tried to be like sneaky with it. I just I hid the gun and just threw it all the way in the back, so we wouldn't be questioned or anything. But
Right,
and
right.
then we went up to them, and they explained that
They
like
were,
what we're doing and what's
yeah,
going on.
yeah,
They saw
yeah,
the camera
yeah.
and stuff, so
Absolutely.
they're like, okay, that's fine. But it was just things like that where uh, just the challenges of filmmaking in
Right,
general.
right.
But it was worth it though for me.
So do you also do your own stunts and you know because with such a skeleton crew, right? You do do some of those requests, like unreasonable requests, come to you that you gotta jump through that and hoop through this?
I haven't done anything too crazy stunt wise. I'm just like normal things like
Right.
uh, running or like dodging
Or like
or
a
like
fight scene with,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I've actually had a chair thrown at me once for a short film that I did. where I played a host of a singing TV show. So at the end, like things got really crazy, and then one of the contestants throws a chair at me. They actually threw it, so I had to. I didn't even practice. Like I was just like, or just throw it, and then I dodged it while like on like live. So that was
Wow.
like one. It was just funny, but it was memorable.
Oh my God. Yeah, I think those stories are, very interesting to say the least, and how they happen and kind of stay with you for a very long time. So, Shahroze, tell us um, about your identity. You're Pakistani American. You speak multiple languages. Um, your experience has been diverse. Has your identity been a strength for you, or has it been a challenge for you?
I'd say in the beginning, it was more of a challenge because obviously, in the film industry, the roles and stories aren't made to for us basically.
Right.
But now, as it's developing, the filmmakers and just the industry in general is realizing that we need these diverse stories and these diverse characters, and we need to tell their stories, and the world
Hmm.
needs to see. And obviously, it's still not where it should be now, but
Right. Right.
slowly but surely,
Slowly, it's changing.
yeah,
The narrative is becoming more in our own hands,
yeah.
rather than someone else trying to explain that. So, how do you have seen the Disney's Marvel lady, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So, how do you see that with you also being a Pakistani American artist, and now finally that big media company is showing a positive role and a character for a Muslim Pakistani American female.
Yeah, exactly.
So, do has that in any way impacted your career, or is it just too early to say that?
No, it definitely has because even though that just came out, I have been noticing that just even if it's not for me, the roles, I mean, more projects are being greenlit and put under development that are centered around South Asian and
Mm.
just our types of storylines. So that's definitely a big step for me, obviously, but all of our artist community in general, because there's going to be more opportunities going forward, and there's just going to be more inclusivity with these projects because how well this show was received, Miss Marvel. It got like 95% rating, 96% rating. So now the higher, like the execs are gonna see this and they're gonna uh, like unfortunately like it took a long time for them to get to this point, obviously, but now this is like an open door and a stepping stone to more projects being catapulted and launched, and that's definitely it definitely already has impacted me because I've been getting more auditions
Mm.
for South Asian specific
Right.
characters,
Right.
and before that has happened, but not as much as it's going forward, because I can already see the trend and the forecast of it. Like before, most of the roles that I would audition for, they would be, not my ethnicity. They would just be, just like for like any non-specific ethnicity or just, the usual. But now it's centered towards us, and that's
Mm.
what we want, and that's how even not just our community, other minority
Other
communities.
minority communities are
Yeah.
feeling the same thing and wanting the same thing. So, tell us about. So you have been acting for some time now. Do you also write?
I've written not anything feature length yet, but I've written like short videos, short stories, but nothing that's been anything that I want to continue pursuing per se. But I definitely do want to get into actual script writing and screenplays. Start off maybe with like short films. I have had a producer experience, I guess, with script editing and script work and things like that. In the short film with the detective that I was speaking about, I did a lot of the script editing for it and the dialogue. So I do have experience with that, but as a whole, like starting from the beginning, from the to the end, not necessarily yet, but it's definitely something that is on my list.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, um, it, it doesn't happen very often, but have you been approached by someone from Pakistan or India or somewhere, or you haven't made that many waves that it hasn't gone over across the Atlantic?
Uh, I've been I've been approached indirectly to work on specific projects. I know they were shooting that one Pakistani drama here
Right,
a
right,
few
right.
years ago. So that was really cool getting to see everyone. And I'm sure we both know like so many of the people that were doing it. But I have auditioned for some here actually that were being made by independent production companies, but they were making like Pakistani, like South Asian projects. So I have had that experience, but not anything direct yet. But I'm once I get the call, I'm ready for it. I'm just waiting.
You're just waiting. No, no, inshallah. We all pray that it happens for you soon enough
Yeah,
and fast
inshallah.
enough. And so, what what does Shahroze has for the remainder of this year, 2022? What's gonna happen in the next 4 months? You're just gonna relax and watch yourself on Prime, or you're working on something?
No, there's no time to relax. But no, I have this film upcoming pretty soon actually, the crime thriller. So that's something I'm looking forward to because we're gonna start the process of
Mm,
doing, like the table reads, getting the script, and then
right.
doing the analyzation, the character work, and all that. So, and that's a feature film, so it's gonna take a little bit to get made and developed and everything. But that's what I'm looking forward to now. And then I have actually a show that I did, I think like last year, a couple years ago, that's about to be released pretty soon on Hulu. It's called Be Someone, and I played like a detective in the police office and things like that. So that's going to be very interesting to see. I've been looking forward to it for a while now. So yeah, and then just continuing to just audition as much as I can because that's honestly you audition so much more than you actually work. So that's the name of the game, honestly. So
Absolutely.
that's just I'm just staying focused on that.
You're unstoppable,
Yeah.
and nobody better come in your way. No, I totally get that. I totally get that. No, thank you very much, Sharwas, for stopping by. And I think there is a whole lot more that we need to talk, but unfortunately, we're running out of time. But if we invite you again, would you be willing to come?
Of course, just tell me the date and I'll be there.
Wonderful, wonderful. Good seeing
All
you,
right.
Sharwas,
Thank you so much. I
and we'll stay in
appreciate it.
touch. Thank you. Wonderful.